welcome to another episode of the Ducati, the Ghost as I'm calling it. There's been a lot going on in the background on this, not to this structure itself because it's still sitting in the same place as what you last saw it, but more to the body itself, which is here, which has been primed and sanded who knows how many times. Where's my cup of tea? I'm freezing. Who knows how many times it's been sanded and primed. It's one of these processes that goes on forever, and I keep on finding more imperfections, and I think I'm after a machine finish by hand and eye, which can be done, but it just takes time, a lot faster than it is if you were to have a foam model CNC'd out of a 3D drawing, for example, which is the way I will do things from now on. But to be honest, I just wanted to go back to my roots of actually playing with clay and things, and I found it enjoyable. Never again, but enjoyable. But on to other things with Ducati now. So there is a lot of things that needs to be done to it. So we've got wheels, we've got shocks. The wheels, the rims, have some beautiful XL rims supplied by Haan wheels. Links are all down below. And some TFX shocks as well, or TFX mono shock I should say, going on the back here. So that's sorted. And then once the carbon fibre body is done, it's pretty much there, just apart from the paint. But there's a few key things I want to do to this bike to make it stand out, and one of them is the triple tree clamp. So I've had a desire to have things CNC'd out of aluminium on this bike because I think it deserves it. I think it needs that finishing touch to take it up another notch. One of the things I want to do is this triple tree here. So this is the existing triple tree that comes with the bike. Oh, nothing quite like a cup of tea. As you can see, it's not the prettiest of triple tree clamps. I have powder coated it black because I didn't know if I was going to use it or not, and if I couldn't get my hands on a CNC'd one, then I have this to use. What I want to do in today's episode is design my own custom triple tree clamp to go on this. We're calling it the Ghost. It's going to have the Ghost emblem on the top. It needs to be quite angular. This episode I'm not really going to get my hands that dirty. I'm going to sit in front of a computer, design it out, do what I want to do with it in Blender, and then put it into Cura, and then have that 3D printed, and then I can actually try it in place and see how it looks. Once I'm happy with it, I can send it out, get it CNC'd out of aluminium, get it back in. Job done, one bit down. And here we have it. This is the 3D printed part. So light. You expect a piece of plastic to be pretty heavy, but no, this is really light because I have used 20% infill on this. I could have gone lower. I could have gone to 10, 15%, but in all honesty, I didn't know how that would sacrifice the quality of it because I didn't want it to look good. I wanted it to look good enough for film, and it does. And as well, I printed it at 0.2mm layer height. I could have gone less on that. I think 0.2 is the threshold that I like to take this anyway, because I've got this gradient going up and you've got that stepping pattern going all the way up where you've got your 0.2mm. And I think any sort of coarser than that, I would have had an even bigger pattern, and I don't think I would have especially like this, just for the sake of the video. It did take me 28 hours to print, but I'm happy with it. The only thing I would change on this, my mistake, completely my mistake, that was supposed to be 32mm depth, and I think it's about 6mm taller than what it should be. Simply my fault. When I imported the SVG into Blender, I completely forgot that Blender likes to adjust the sizes of things from what their native size is. So as I was working to the correct size in height in Blender of 32mm, what I hadn't taken into account was that it had completely shrunk, so that when I put it back into Cura as an STL file and then made it the actual size it was supposed to be, it scaled everything up proportionally by that tiny of a fraction. But again, like I said, it's 6mm, makes no real difference. It probably does make sense for it to be a little bit thinner because I'm not sure how well the spindle actually pokes through. If it's got enough height on it, then brilliant. I quite like this chunky look. I really like this chunky look actually, and it's going to be behind the fairing, right? But going forward, I probably will just reduce that ever so slightly a little bit. These side clamps being quite chunky, I don't actually mind. I really like how chunky they are. I know my bars are going to be fitting a little bit lower than what I need to because they are lower, and as well the profile, rather than being flat, is lower as well. So it's going to push my bars down by about 10mm, but there was a couple of things that I wanted to kind of test with this. Where the bolt goes into the stem of the side there to clamp it in, I didn't want to do it, but I think I might have to put a little recess going out there just to give it more of a grabbing plate there. I think that is a weak point as it stands. 2mm gaps of these little pinch points here, same as what's on the original yoke, but the positioning on these are different. So where on the original yoke it's at the bottom there and you've got your bolts going in through the side, what I have done is put the pinch guides at the side there, these holes to put the bolts through there and then grab it through. Now there is a worry that it might be too structurally rigid to pull, but no, it won't be. Tried with this, there is flex in this, there's flex enough to actually open it and go down. I know that aluminium's obviously a stronger material than PLA, but I've got every faith that the aluminium will work perfectly with this, and it's only a fraction, absolute decimal of a mil that I need to clamp because it's already a tight grip as it is. Let's try it. Let's put one of these in. Let's put the other one in. Yay! Look at that. I love that. And then it's got the Ghost emblem, not printed in the best of qualities on here because the 3D printer can't go as small as what I had lettering, but I know that the CNC supplier that I am looking at can do engravings. Let's get this on the bike and see how it looks. So fitting on there, one major thing, or two major things I need to do. I do need to bring it shorter in height. I do need to bring it to the 32mm that it was. The other thing I need to do is just ever so slightly shave off these sides because these are hitting the actual frame before the bump stops do. I don't want that to happen because obviously I want to have the full turning that the bike should have before it gets to the bump stops. So I'm just going to shave this, amend the shape ever so slightly, shave it like that, Amend the shape ever so slightly, shave it a bit down just so that these shapes have a bit more room to breathe, even make that a little bit straighter, and then out around there, and then job done. So that's the job that I'm not going to bore you with now. As soon as I've got the CNC piece back, I'll put it on the bike and you can see, so that's all from me. Next week's video could be the mongrel, or it could even be the mic. I'm just looking at it over there, and I've slowly started getting the frame out and kind of putting things back together, so that might be next week's video. So if you like what you see, subscribe, follow me on Instagram as well, visit footballindustries.com if you want to see if there's any merchandise on there that you like to help support the channel. So until next week, everyone just stay classy.